Welcome back, everyone, to Terror and Urban Myths. And for those of you just joining us, welcome. We're thrilled you're here for another chilling exploration into the world of, well, terror and urban myths. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like if you're enjoying the show. Tonight's tale takes us to the heart of Hollywood, a place many associate with glamour and stardom, but like any place, it has its shadows.
The Hollywood Hills, a place of sunshine and aspiration, also holds a hidden world of forgotten sets and whispers of haunted houses. It's almost as if the contrast itself is what makes it such fertile ground for an urban legend like the one we're about to explore.
This particular story revolves around a place called the Enchanted Garden. The name itself sounds almost deceptively innocent, wouldn't you say?
It does. The Enchanted Garden evokes a sense of wonder and childhood, a place of safety and magic. But as we often find with these urban legends, there's something much darker lurking beneath the surface.
At the center of this story is a figure many find both intriguing and unsettling, an old set designer, a widower who never had children and who sought solace in his garden. But this wasn't just any garden. Every Halloween, he transformed it into a spectacle, a festival of the macabre.
His backstory is important here. The grief, the loneliness, the unfulfilled yearning for a family, it all feeds into the legend and makes him a figure of both sympathy and suspicion. Is this just an eccentric artist channeling his pain, or is there something more sinister driving his obsession?
Imagine, if you will, grotesque pumpkins with chilling grins, skeletons dancing in the moonlight, shimmering cobwebs, all meticulously crafted. He was undeniably a master of his craft, even if his art leaned towards the, shall we say, morbid.
What's so unsettling is how he uses his artistry to blur the lines between reality and fantasy. The garden becomes hyper-real, almost too perfect, and it's precisely that heightened sense of reality that makes the macabre elements even more disturbing.
And then there's the dark secret at the heart of it all, the rumor that this set designer, driven by his loss and longing for family, made a pact with an evil entity trading his soul for an eternally youthful garden.
The legend taps into a primal fear, the idea a deal with the devil. The price, however, goes beyond just the set designer's soul. It's something far more innocent, the youth of unsuspecting children.
These children, drawn to the garden's beauty, become ensnared in its sinister charm. The legend whispers that the set designer, now possessed, seeks to steal their youth, their vitality, to sustain the garden's splendor.
It preys on our protective instincts, our anxieties for those most vulnerable to manipulation and harm. The garden is no longer a place of wonder, but a hunting ground where childhood joy is twisted into a nightmare.
What's truly unsettling is that he essentially becomes a puppet master, manipulating the children, drawing them closer to their doom.
He's no longer simply a lonely old man. The legend strips him of any humanity. He's now a monstrous figure driven solely by the need to fuel the garden's unnatural existence.
The garden itself transforms from a place of beauty into a symbol of decay, a reminder that everything must eventually wither and die.
Despite its name, the Enchanted Garden becomes a symbol of corruption, of the unnatural and grotesque. It warns against the pursuit of eternal youth, the dangers of trying to cheat death. True beauty, the legend seems to say, lies in embracing the natural cycle of life.
The ending is chilling, ambiguous. The garden remains still drawing children in, but now every laugh sounds like a muffled scream, every smile a grimace of horror.
It leaves us with a sense of unease. It makes you wonder if the evil was ever truly vanquished, or if it continues to prey on the innocent.
It's as if the Enchanted Garden isn't just a place but a state of mind, a warning against the allure of the forbidden, the dangers of giving in to our darkest desires.
It reminds us that the darkness we encounter in these urban legends often reflects the darkness that exists within ourselves, within society. What we find so fascinating, so terrifying about these stories can reveal a lot about our own anxieties and preoccupations.
We'll delve deeper into those anxieties and the symbolism of the Enchanted Garden in just a moment. But first, a quick reminder to subscribe to Terror and Urban Myths if you haven't already. And be sure to give this episode a like if you're finding it as chilling as we are. We'll be right back with part 2.
The legend of the Enchanted Garden uses the set designer's yearning for family to weave a narrative of desperation. It suggests his desire for belonging was so strong he was willing to make a deal with an evil entity to achieve it.
It's as if his grief and loneliness created a vulnerability that this entity could exploit. And his artistic talent, his ability to create such lifelike figures, becomes a tool for deception.
Exactly. The macabre beauty of the garden becomes a metaphor for how seductive evil can be. It reminds us that even in seemingly innocent settings, danger can lurk beneath the surface.
What do you think draws the children to the garden, despite the underlying darkness?
Perhaps it's the very things that make childhood so precious. Curiosity, a sense of wonder, a willingness to believe in magic. They don't see the darkness, the sinister intent behind those smiling pumpkins and dancing skeletons.
It makes you think about our role as protectors. No matter how hard we try to shield children from the evils of the world, there are always forces that seek to exploit their innocence.
This legend plays on that primal fear. It reminds us of the fragility of childhood, how easily it can be shattered.
You mentioned the set designer's pact with the devil. Do you think all interpretations of this legend would agree that it's literally the devil, or could it symbolize something else?
That's an interesting question. While some might take it literally, others might see the devil as a representation of the set designer's own internal darkness, the part of him willing to sacrifice anything for his desires.
So the garden itself could be a reflection of his internal state, a manifestation of his twisted desires.
Precisely. It becomes a symbol of corruption, a physical manifestation of his willingness to sacrifice innocence for his own selfish goals.
It's disturbing to think that he becomes more than just a lonely old man. He becomes a conduit for evil, a predator in disguise.
The legend strips him of his humanity, making him a monstrous figure driven solely by the need to sustain the garden's unnatural existence. It's a chilling reminder that those who appear harmless can be the most dangerous.
And the stolen youth of the children, this perverse form of sustenance, is a desperate attempt to defy the natural order of life and death.
The Enchanted Garden, despite its name, becomes a haunting reminder that the pursuit of immortality, the desire to hold on to youth and beauty at any cost, can have monstrous consequences.
The ending, with the garden remaining, but now filled with muffled screams and grimaces of horror, suggests that the evil hasn't been vanquished. It's a haunting image that lingers long after the story is told.
It leaves us with a sense of unease, a reminder that the darkness we encounter in these legends often reflects the darkness within ourselves, within society. It challenges us to confront those uncomfortable truths.
And what about the children? Are they just victims, or do they play a role in their own fate?
It's a fascinating question. The legend doesn't explicitly state whether they're aware of the danger. Are they naive, too caught up in the garden's enchantment? Or is there a part of them drawn to the darkness, a subconscious desire to transgress boundaries?
Perhaps it's their curiosity, a natural part of childhood, that leads them astray.
Curiosity is a powerful force, but it can be a double-edged sword. In this case, it might be their undoing.
The Enchanted Garden could also be seen as a metaphor for the transition from childhood to adulthood, the loss of naivety, and the realization that the world isn't always safe.
That's a poignant observation. It suggests that this loss of innocence is inevitable, but also warns against becoming jaded, losing our sense of wonder and empathy.
So are you saying there's a balance to be found, acknowledging the darkness without letting it extinguish the light within ourselves?
Precisely. The Enchanted Garden challenges us to confront the complexities of human nature, the duality of good and evil. It reminds us to be vigilant, to guard against the darkness, but also to hold on to hope.
We'll explore that duality and the broader implications of this legend in our final part. But for now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Enchanted Garden? What resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll be right back with a conclusion of our exploration into this chilling tale. Welcome back to Terror and Urban Myths. We've been unpacking the chilling legend of the Enchanted Garden, a place where beauty and horror intertwine.
It's a story that resonates on multiple levels, reflecting not only our fears, but also our desires, our fascination with the forbidden.
In the previous parts, we talked about the set designer's tragic backstory, his pact with an evil entity, and the children drawn to the garden's allure. But this legend also speaks to something larger, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The Enchanted Garden serves as a chilling metaphor for the world. We live in a world where appearances can be deceiving, innocence exploited, and darkness found in the most unexpected places.
It's as if the legend is holding up a mirror to society, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, our choices, and the consequences that follow.
Precisely. The set designer, in his desperation to create a world of eternal beauty, becomes a cautionary figure. He represents unchecked ambition, the allure of power, and the willingness to sacrifice anything, even our humanity, for our desires.
And the children, their fate, serves as a stark reminder of the responsibility we have to protect those most vulnerable to the darkness in the world.
The legend also speaks to our fascination with the macabre, our attraction to the forbidden. Those grotesque pumpkins, dancing skeletons, shimmering cobwebs, they evoke a sense of unease, a blend of allure and repulsion.
It's like we're drawn to the darkness even as we fear it. We're fascinated by the idea of something beyond our understanding, something terrifying and exciting at the same time.
That fascination is part of the human condition. It reflects our mortality, our awareness of life's fragility. We're drawn to stories of horror and the supernatural because they allow us to explore our deepest fears, confront the unknown from a safe distance.
But this legend goes beyond mere entertainment. It challenges us to examine our own values, our beliefs about good and evil. What are we willing to sacrifice for beauty, for power, for eternal life?
It reminds us that true beauty doesn't lie in the superficial, but in the authentic. It's about embracing the natural cycles of life and death, accepting our limitations. True beauty lies in compassion, empathy, and the choices we make to protect the innocent and fight against darkness.
The legend seems to suggest that even in the face of evil, beauty and innocence can endure. But it also reminds us that the choices we make have consequences not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us.
It's a powerful call to action, a reminder to be vigilant in our own lives and our communities. We must stand up against injustice, against exploitation, against anything that diminishes our humanity. We have to strive to create a world where innocence is cherished, beauty is authentic, and darkness is held at bay.
The Enchanted Garden leaves us with a sense of unease, but also with a sense of hope. It reminds us that we're not powerless in the face of evil. We can choose to be the light in the darkness. We can choose to make a difference.
As we conclude our exploration into this chilling tale, let's carry the lessons we've learned. Let's be mindful of our choices, the consequences they bring, and the responsibility we have to protect the vulnerable.
Let's remember that true beauty lies in kindness, compassion, and the bonds of love that connect us all. Thank you for joining us on this journey into terror and urban myths. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and give this episode a like if you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and keep seeking the light.